Hi, welcome back to my channel, and in this video I am going to show the prayer books and missals I use. These are not all the prayer books I use, but these are the ones I keep on my desk, and these are not all the missals I have either. So I'm going to show from right to left, and this is just a show you, and then if you want I can do videos on how to use these. So go ahead and ask in the questions below, a comment section below, if you want me to do a video on these prayer books and missals. I'm not gonna, I will do a list of what these are in the description, but I'm not gonna include links to all of them because there's so many here. When I go to do individual videos on these, if you want me to do individual videos on these, I'll include ISBNs and links to everything. So I'll start here with Christian Prayer and work my way that way. This is Christian Prayer, which is a 1-volume version of this, which is Liturgy of the Hours, which is 4 volumes. The 4th volume is over here to my left because that's what I'm using. And then this is Shorter Prayer, which is just morning and evening prayer and the Psalms from in this volume. So this Shorter Christian Prayer is a condensed version of this, which this is a condensed version of Liturgy of the Hours. And Liturgy of the Hours, which is next, is got all the prayer hours and all the readings for 1 year of praying the hours the way priests and monks do in the Catholic Church. Next we have Missals. This is volume 1 of the weekday missal. I have volume 2 over here to my left because that's the missal we're in currently. And this is the Sunday missal. I have 2 different versions of this. This is the 3-year cycle. In another room I have the one for this year's Sundays. So you just move, I just use a bookmark in it and just move the bookmark to the Sunday we're on. And then I also have next year's volume. So tomorrow I finish up this year's volume, and next week I start next year's volume. And then this is the New St. Joseph People's Prayer Book, which is just prayers and devotions. But there's a lot of them, and it's got a 2-color page design, and it's a really neat prayer book. And in the front it's got a thing here having it arranged by the different types of prayers, and there's 12 different types of prayers in this prayer book. Then next to that I have 2 prayer books from Loyola Press. I have a beginner's book of prayers and a Catholic book of hours and other devotions. Right now I'm using another volume from Loyola Press for when I go to Eucharistic adoration. And this has different kinds of devotions and prayers for when you're in Eucharistic adoration. Real quickly, these are guides. This is the guide to Christian prayer, and next to it is the inserts for Christian prayer. What the guides do is show you where to put your ribbons each day. Like here in this missal guide, it's showing that during the week on the 25th of May, Thursday of the 7th week of Easter, you would set 1 ribbon at page 930, and then you would set another ribbon somewhere between pages 21 and 27 of the prefaces, which is pages 704 through 707. So you'd only need to use, it looks like 2 ribbons that day. And then when there's special Sundays are usually in bold, but also special days of the year are in bold, like Vigil, Mass of Pentecost, the most holy body and blood of Christ, Corpus Christi, see that's in bold, most holy Trinity, that's in bold. So certain days of the year are in bold. When there's a memorial or feast of a saint, it will say it, like here it says Wednesday, September 13th, St. John Chrysostom, and then it tells you the kind of memorial or feast it is, and then what page to put a ribbon, and then where to set your ribbons for the rest of that prayer. That's how these guides work, not just for the missals, but also for the Liturgy of the Hours and Christian prayer. It works the same way. I'll show you really quickly how the missal is inside. Now, we have this section that has kind of red page edges, which is hard to see with the blue page edges, but it gives you the order of Mass to follow along. So I have my blue ribbon set up right now to be the order of Mass, and I have, this was set to Thursday, I'll move it to today. Okay. So that's set to today. And then this one is set to Antiphons and Prayers for Ordinary Time, 33rd week. So that one is set. So that's what the inside of that one looks like. So for following along with Mass, it tells you when to turn to today's Mass. So after the entrance chant, it says, turn to today's Mass, which is the red ribbon. Then as I go through today's Mass in here, it will tell me when to go back to the order of Mass. I'm trying to find, yeah, like here it says go to number 16, page 25. So I would go to number 16, on page 625, and that's that. But here we have the first reading, the responsorial psalm, and then the Alleluia, and then the gospel reading. And then it tells us to go to the order of Mass. So that's how that one works. The prayer books work kind of similarly. I'll show you with volume 4, which I do not have set properly at the moment because this morning when I woke up, I did not do morning prayer and I forgot to set it for anything. So I'm probably going to end up using this one for tonight because this one is set. I should have just used this one today. But to give you an idea of how the page layout is, it's got red for headings or for subtitles and passages. And like if there's a sermon that day from St. Augustine or somebody, it'll tell you who it's from. It'll tell you the sermon number, and it'll tell you where you can find it. I do not know this abbreviation. But anyway, here's a sermon from St. Augustine. Let's see if I can find anything else. Like, it's got your responsories, and then your second reading, which is a commentary on the Song of Songs by St. Gregory of Nyssa. So those are the readings. I'm not going through the ribbons in order right now. I'm just trying to show you the page layout. Let's see. And then in the ordinary of the liturgy, the hours for ordinary time, it gives, this would actually be the opening of prayer. And then it tells you hymn, psalmody verses, and then readings, which I just showed you. The hymn is the Te Deum. And then here's instructions. For Sunday, solemnities, and feasts, the hymn Te Deum follows the second reading and its responsory. So on those particular days is when you pray this hymn. And then the next ribbon is, oh, I had it set to Wednesday. That's why. And I had it set in the wrong spot. But so for during morning prayer, you would start, you could do this hymn or you could do this hymn. And it goes like that. And then, let's see, what do I have this set to? And then it tells you for, because I use this Wednesday for on the 22nd, which was the memorial of Saint Cecilia, Virgin and Martyr, where it's got little description of her, and then for the Office of Readings, you got a discourse on the Psalms from St. Augustine, and responsory, and then a prayer about Saint Cecilia. I'll do a separate video on how to pray this rather than just show it. So yeah, that's how the inside of that looks, if you were wondering. And then if you're wondering what the inside of these prayers books are like, I'll show you. The editor of these is, where does it say? William G. Story. And you got a table of contents, an introduction that goes through different things like a school of prayer, prayer for new Catholics, external and internal prayer, 2nd century directions for prayer. And then these are prayers for the foundations of faith, basic Christian prayers, morning and evening prayer, and it gives it to you in different times of year, prayers to the Lord Jesus, devotions to Christ crucified, and there's quite a few pages of the table of contents. And it's just Basic prayers like morning praise and Eastertide. Then you read this, then you read this hymn, then you read Psalm 150, and it's got a antiphon before and after it to show you how to do that. And then it's got a reading from the Gospel of John, a response, the Lord's Prayer, another pause for prayers of intercession, a prayer, a blessing, and then you go into evening prayer. So this is a really good beginner's prayer book, like the title says, a beginner's book of prayer. This one is a very simple beginner's approach to doing what these do. I'll show you what I mean. Again, this one is also composed, edited, and translated by William G. Story. It's got the table of contents, and it's got like introductions on this type of prayer. A section that goes through the different hours, and also the different hours for each day of the week. And then there's a section here of different devotions you can do as well, and then notes and acknowledgments and a thing about William G. Story. So let's take a look at an example here. This is Matins, and here's a description of what's going on in this devotion. So we have Matins, which is the earliest prayer in the 24-hour cycle, if I remember right. I usually use an app or something that tells me when to pray what thing, because I don't remember these using the terms matin and lauds and all that. But this one here is arranged for a group, but you can do it on your own. So that's an example of that. Let's go further into the book. Find the beginning of one here. Excuse me. Okay, so Monday, hours of the Holy Spirit. So it gives you a description. So all the prayers for Monday are going to be based around this theme. So we go through and we have Matins again, and you got your opening, "O Lord, open my lips," and then you got these two different things you can choose to say, or you can say all of it. In the front, it gives you detailed instructions on how to do it, but it's a much simpler version of all this, because it has everything arranged for you for each day. And then there's acknowledgments in the back here where it tells you where certain hymns and other things come from. So there's that kind of prayer book. The Sunday Missal, I'll go through that real quick. It's got a general introduction. Oh wait, I want to first show you this real quick. It's got a calendar, and before the calendar, it's got this showing you the different sections of the missal. Then it's got a calendar. So if we go to 2023, we can find out when, let's see, let's find First Advent. Here we go. Interesting. It's showing. Oh, that's year A. We need year B because year B is coming up. That's what's confusing me. Okay. So December 3rd of 2023 will be the first Sunday of Advent. And so these are the dates for Advent this year. And then January 1st will be Mary Mother of God. And then it goes through and it lists over here what the Sunday is or what the holiday is. And that helps you to know where to set your first ribbon. So for year B, I'd be setting it to December 3rd if tomorrow was that. But tomorrow is the last Sunday of the year. So the first ribbon I have set in here is for the order of Mass. So this whole section here with the red here gives you everything that is said at, pretty much nearly everything that is said at Mass. Not every single thing, but nearly everything that is said at Mass. This ribbon I set to the day's Mass. So this is already set for tomorrow. There's a introduction that you can read before Mass or before the day before or whatever. This one tells you about our Lord Jesus Christ, King of the universe, which is a solemnity. And it gives you the entrance prayer. And then it tells you to go to number 2 on page 10. So if I go to number 2, it gives me the greeting. And then the penitential act. And then after the Lord have mercy, Christ have mercy, Lord have mercy, then we get the absolution, and then the Gloria, and then the collect, and then it'll tell me to go back to today's Mass. So after that, we have the collect, and then the first reading. Here's the introduction to the first reading. Here's the reading, the response to the psalm, which it looks like tomorrow's psalm is going to be Psalm 23. So this is what we say in response to the different sections of the psalm. And then next should be then we have the second reading, which is going to be from 1 Corinthians. So we have an introduction to the reading, then the passage, and then we go to the Alleluia. And then this arrow tells me when to keep going in this section. And then we have this introduction to the gospel. And then the dialogue with the priest and the congregation, and then the reading from Matthew 25, and then it says to go to number 15 on page 18, so I'd go back to that red section, and I'd go to number 15 on page 18. So let's go back there. I'm just real quickly showing you this. So page 18, which is the profession of faith, which we say the Nicene Creed. And then after that, we have the universal prayer. Then we have the liturgy of the Eucharist. And as it goes along, it tells you when to flip back and forth. There's not as much flipping back and forth as it seems like. Because after this, we do the prayer over the offerings. And then the preface, and then the communion antiphon. Oh, then we go to number 23 on 23, and then it'll eventually tell us to come back here, and then we have the communion antiphon, and then after communion, there's this communion prayer, and then we go to this, and then it'll eventually lead us to the end of Mass. So, sorry for that, a little digression there, but I thought it'd be interesting to show you how the Missal works. If you want videos on how the prayer books work, where I show you in order the page flipping and everything, I can do that. There are videos on these that show you how to do it, but I just thought that would that might be an interesting thing to do. So if you want me to either do a video on Christian prayer or on Liturgy of the Hours, let me know. Liturgy Hours I'm just starting to learn how to use, and so far I'm enjoying it, but it's a little different than this. This I think is a little easier as far as getting started. So if you want to get started with the Liturgy of the Hours type thing, you could either use this, you could use Shorter Christian Prayer, which, like its name implies, is the 4-week Psalter of the Liturgy of the Hours containing morning and evening prayer. So it's just morning and evening prayer and the Psalms. So it's a good way to get started. And it's got plenty of information here explaining how to use the book. And it's got the different seasons of the Christian calendar. So, yeah, this would be a good one to start with. Or you could even, if you want to do the Liturgy of the Hours and those seem a little too difficult, you could use this one, which you're going to do a lot of repeating, but if you're starting out, maybe that's what you need. The only reason I don't use apps for Liturgy of the Hours is they don't have all of the readings, because like I'm in a Facebook group where we're doing Liturgy Hours together, and I'd rather have the same readings everybody else does so we can discuss the same readings. So this would not work for that group that I'm in, but this is a good one, I would say, that would be good to start with. It's edited by William G. Story. It's published by Loyola Press. Here, I'll show the ISBN if you want to pause and write it down and look it up. That would be a good one to start with. This one could also be a good one to start with because it's just like here, Monday, week 1, inviatory, morning prayer, and it'll tell you where to go for things. So this makes starting out with Liturgy of the Hours really simple. This is one I would take with me, like if I was going to stay the night somewhere. This is probably what I would take because this has the minimum of what I need to pray at least 2 of the hours. Or I would, when I get the regular size edition of this one, I would take Christian Prayer. But this is the large type edition, and this is published by Catholic Book Publishing Corporation. On here it says company, but this is 10 years old. The newer ones, I think, say Catholic Book Publishing Corporation. I don't know. And Christian Prayer comes with these inserts, which makes it so you flip less. And then this is this year's guide, and like I showed earlier, it tells you where to set your ribbons. So yeah, sorry I wasn't able to keep this video as short as I was hoping to, but I wanted to give you an idea of the types of prayer books and missals I use in case they would be helpful for you to use as well. And even something like this is a really good place to start too. like if you are not Catholic and you want to understand how what Catholics pray, or you're new to praying, this would be a good one. You don't have to be Catholic to use this one. Even though it's got some traditional Catholic prayers in it, you don't have to be Catholic to use it. So that's a look at what I use, and hopefully it was a help to you. I will see you in the next video.